Hello boys and girls, Miss Holloway here. We are starting a new topic. We are going to start learning about fractions. Dun dun dun. You may be thinking, fractions? I can't do fractions. I'm only 8 or 9 years old. Fractions are too hard. Trust me when I say you can do fractions, and they're probably a lot easier than you think they are. But I do need you to do one thing for me, and this is going to be the easiest thing. I need for you to keep an open mind when learning about fractions. Because sometimes, even for me, I know that sometimes when things get difficult, it's easy for me to shut off my brain. But I really need for you to keep an open mind during our lessons on fractions. Let me show you a couple sayings. Minds are like parachutes. They function better when they are open. Isn't that the truth? And this one, keep an open mind. It's the only way new things can get in. So if you don't keep an open mind when we're learning about fractions, you may not learn how to do fractions. We're going to start really simple. You need to be on Reteaching 9-1, dividing regions into equal parts. So before we even start with fractions and the numerators and denominators, which sound like really big words, but you'll learn those soon, we're just going to talk about how to divide a region into equal parts. And you may be thinking, well, what's a region? A region is just a shape, like a rectangle or a circle or a square, just like the examples on our paper. One very important thing you need to know about fractions is that when a region or a shape is divided into parts, they must be equal parts. They cannot be unequal parts, or we cannot call them fractions. So let's look at some of these regions. Hopefully you watched the video, the YouTube video that was posted before this video. If you haven't, I want you to stop this video now and go back and watch that video first. Because it talks about a whole. A whole is just a whole region, a whole shape, a whole square, a whole circle, a whole pie, a whole pizza. It's just one whole something, region. And that whole can be divided into equal parts. Just like if you order a pizza, you order one whole pizza and then you cut it up and you share it. So let's look at a region that is divided into two equal parts. When we have a region divided into two equal parts, we call those halves. When we have a region divided into three equal parts, we call those thirds. 4 equal parts is fourths. 5 equal parts is fifths. 6 equal parts is sixths. Eighths, tenths, twelfths. Now, you might have noticed it skipped a few numbers. You can have sevenths, you can have ninths, 11ths, 13ths, 14ths, 15ths. It can be divided into however many parts you want it to. It just has to be equal parts. So it's just kind of like when you win something, second place, third place, fourth place, fifth place, sixth place. It's just that the second, you don't call them seconds, you call them halves. And then everything else after that would be thirds, fourths, fifths, sixths, and so on. Okay, so on the bottom, we're going to start by just telling if each region shows equal parts or unequal parts. And then we're going to tell if the parts are equal. If the parts are equal, we're going to name the parts, meaning we're going to call them halves, thirds, fourths, fifths, depending on how many parts there are. So number 1, it looks like this region is divided equally. So we're going to write equal. And it has 1, 2, 3, 4 equal parts. So I'm going to call those fourths. Number 2, okay, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts, but they are definitely not equal. I mean, if this was a chocolate bar and Miss Holloway got this big piece and I just took this other piece and broke it into 3 pieces, that wouldn't be fair. So we're going to say this is unequal. Number 3, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 parts. They look equal to me. Equal fourths. Okay, number 4 through 6, we're going to name the equal parts of the whole. So we're no longer going to say that they're equal. We already know they're equal. We're just going to name the parts. There are 4 parts, fourths. Number 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, twelfths. 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, sixths. Okay, number 7, it says using grid paper. We don't have grid paper, so you can just draw the picture on this page. Draw a picture of a whole that is divided into thirds. I would recommend when you're drawing an example of your own, I would just draw a box, a rectangle, something like that. It's much easier to draw equal parts when you draw a box or a rectangle, or a square or rectangle, than it is a circle. So I'll show you what that looks like. We're going to draw a rectangle. We're going to divide it into thirds. Now, if I put a line right in the middle, that's only going to make it halves because it's going to give me 2 pieces. So I have to kind of find the middle point and then move over a little bit and draw a line. And draw a line. Try to make it as equal as you can. Or if you wanted to, you could draw a circle, find the middle of the circle, and then use the example from above to draw thirds. This is a little bit harder to make them equal, but it kind of looks like a peace sign. Okay, and then number 8, how many equal parts are there when you divide a figure into fifths? Well, if it's fifths, then there are 5 equal parts. Okay? Now turn the page and you are going to do the practice side on your own. Good luck. Remember to keep an open mind and try your best.